Imagine walking into your control room in the morning, checking the reading like every other day. By 9 a.m., six major hydropower plants don't exist anymore. Not damaged a little, gone. Powerhouse buried. Bridges gone. A 220 kV substation wiped off the map. This is not a movie disaster. This happened yesterday morning on August 26, 2026 in Nepal. And the scary part, the engineers who built this plant knew this river. They would survive a flood just like this only 14 months earlier. So why didn't it stop this one? Stick around because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what's a glacial flood does to a power plant and why some of the world's best hydropower engineers still can't fully defend against it. Picture a river coming down from Himalayas. Ice cold, fast carrying glacier melt. This is Botikoshi River, flowing from Tibet into Nepal's Rosuva district, then joining the Trishuli River. This corridor is basically Nepal's hydropower highway. Multiple plants are built one after another along this same river system. Roswagdi, Chilim, Trishuli 3A, Trishuli 3B, Trishuli Hydropower Station, Devigat, engineering wise, it's a great location. Steep drop, strong flow, perfect for run-of-river hydropower. But the same steep glacier-fed geography that makes it perfect for power also make it dangerous. On the morning of August 26, that danger showed up all at once. Here's what investigators believe triggered it. An ice rock avalanche broke off a glacier upstream on the Nepal side. That avalanche crashed into the river and blocked it completely, like dropping a huge boulder into a garden hose. Water backed up behind that blockage, pressure built, and then it broke. When that blockage failed, it did not release water gently. It released it like a dam bursting, sending a wall of water, mud, and rock smashing down the Butikoshi and into the Trisholi. This is called a GLOF style event, a glacier lake outburst flood, or in this case, an ice dam outburst flood. And if that term sounds familiar to you as an engineer, it should. It is one of the fastest growing risks in Himalayan hydropower design. Within hours, the flood tore through Timure and Sayabrubesi, then surged downstream through Novakot, Betravati, Trishuli Bazar, Dunge, Divgat. Entire commercial areas were swallowed by muddy water. Now here's where it gets relevant to us specifically. The Nepal Electricity Authority confirmed that six major hydropower and transmission facilities were damaged. In those six, Rasuvagandhi, Chilim, Trishuli 3A, Trishuli 3B hub, 220 kV substation, Trishuli Hydropower Station, and Divigat Hydropower Station. Zoom out further and the number get worse. Infrastructure tied to 11 hydropower projects with a combined capacity of around 405 megawatt was affected in total. Think about what that actually means on the ground. A powerhouse is not just a building, it's a turbine, generator, intake gate, penstock, control system, all sitting right next to the river because that's where the head and flow are. That's the entire design logic of run-of-river hydro. But it's also exactly why these plants are so exposed when the river itself becomes the disaster. More than 20 suspension and motorable bridges between Rasuva and Malku were swept away. Even the rescue helipad, the one meant to help evacuate people, was swept away. That's how violent this surge was. The 111 megawatt Rasuvagandhi plant, along with Chilim and Trishuli 3A, had to halt production completely. And here's detail that should make every hydropower engineer sit up. This exact same stretch of river flooded before on July 8, 2025. That flood also hit Rasuvagandhi, damaged its dam, and disrupted 211 megawatts of power. 14 months later, almost the identical river system failed again. So here's the real question. These are modern hydropower projects, engineers designed spillway, surge protection, flood routing, all of it built to handle monsoon flood. So why do they keep losing to the river? Because a normal flood and glacial outburst flood are not the same animal. A monsoon flood builds up over hours, sometimes days, rainfall increase, river level rises gradually, and your flood forecasting model can somehow predict it. Your spillway gates are sized for that kind of gradual rise. A glacial or ice dam outburst flood is completely different. There is no rainfall warning, no gradual rise. One moment of the river is normal, the next moment a wall of water, ice, and debris arrive with almost no warning time. We are talking minutes, not hours. That means the flood design assumption used for a 100-year flood or design flood level often don't even apply here, because this is not a rainfall event. It's a sudden mass release event from glacier or blocked river channel. This is now and growing risk in Himalayas as glaciers become more unstable, and it is forcing hydropower engineers worldwide to rethink one big question. How do you design flood protection for a flood you can't forecast? A real engineering response are already being discussed after this event. First, early warning sensors placed much higher upstream, close to the glacial lakes and unstable ice zones, giving even 50 to 20 extra minutes of alert time, which can be different between an empty powerhouse and a full one. Second, rethinking where the critical electrical equipment like transformers and control rooms are physically placed. Some projects are now elevating or relocating sensitive equipment further from the immediate river bank, even if it costs more in cabling and civil works. Third, regional coordination. Since this river starts in Tibet and ends in Nepal, warning system need to work across the border, not just within one country monitoring network. None of these are cheap or simple, but after losing the same stretch of river twice in just over a year, it probably won't happen again, is no longer an acceptable design assumption. Behind every megawatt number in this story, there is something bigger. Officially, Nepal has reported at least 95 deaths, with hundreds still missing, including foreigners, tourists from the UK, USA, India, and other countries. Rescue team, army, police, helicopters are still searching as this video is being made. Ingenious failure in hydropower don't just cost money or shut down a grid. In place like this, they cost lives, because these plants sit in the same narrow valley where people live, travel, and work. That's part that never showed up in a megawatt chart. So next time you look at a hydropower project sitting on a fast Himalayan river and think great location, perfect head, ideal flow, remember the same river can turn from an energy source into a wall of destruction in minutes, with almost no warning. And that raises the question we will dig into the next. Can you actually engineer a spillway gate system fast enough to react to a flood that gives you no warning at all? That's what we are breaking down in the next video.